Maybe on Yoruba, and these are my group members. Our topic for presentation is project management and strategic planning. I'm going to be taking a project, the differences between a project and its processes, and the constraints of a project.
My name is Ojebo Alessandra. I'll be taking vision, policy, and principle, and also taking portfolio project management.
I'm Ibukuluwa Elemo. I'll be taking project management processes, and goals and characteristics of a project manager.
I'm Ogundele Kende. I'll be taking disaster recovery and business continuity.
I'm Obasi Favor. I'll be taking why projects fail, success factors for projects, and strategic information for planning projects.
So we're going to be talking about project management and strategic planning. I'm going to be taking a project and the subtopics under a project. A project is a temporary activity that is launched for a particular purpose to achieve a particular objective. So when we speak about a project, what basically comes to mind is something that is embarked on, that has a beginning time and end time, and has a fixed budget that they work with, so that you can achieve a unique result, product, or service. A business process is a series of events designed to deliver a particular product or service in a repeated manner. So when we talk about a business process, we're basically talking about the process that is involved in creating that particular project we want to work on. For example, if you want to embark on a particular project, say construction of a building or a bridge or something, there are processes we follow and that have to be followed in a particular routine to be able to get that desired outcome that we want, which is not tied to the project. So now we're going to be speaking on the differences between a project and its process. You can say a project is temporary, as we said in the definition earlier. A process is temporary, it has a specific budget, and it has a unique output or product. And now when we speak of a process is repeated, like we said earlier. It is cost efficient and effective, and it is streamlined. So when we speak about project constraints, these are basically things that can hinder or affect a project in some way or another. There are mainly three types of factors that can hinder a project. The first is time, the second is scope, and the third is cost. These things are often known as a project management triangle. So now with this project constraints, one has to be fixed for the others to be able to be adjusted or to be able to vary. So now when we talk about this project constraints, you have to know that one has to be fixed in order for the remaining two constraints to vary in some way or another. And also know that they are all interrelated, meaning that one will affect the other or they affect each other in all.
Moving forward, I'll be talking about project management. Project management involves a systematic approach that involves planning, organizing, and managing the project resources in order to achieve the objective of the project. That is, it involves the whole process of actually bringing the project to life from the idea stage to the conclusion stage. Now to project management processes. That is, the steps involved in achieving a particular project. First one is initiating, that is vetting of the project idea, where you call on the stakeholders, then they know the resources that put into the project to achieve the project. Then next is planning, where you plan on how you actually want to achieve the project, the resources you need, the manpower you need, and everything you need in achieving the project. Then the next is executing. This is the part where you actually bring the project to life, where you start bringing the project from how the workers bring about the project, their roles in the project, and all. The fourth point is monitoring and controlling. Here is where you oversee how the project is being carried out, paying attention to the reports and dashboards. Then the final one is closing. This is where the project comes to an end. You finally achieve the project. And then this is where you evaluate the project, your strengths and weaknesses, then you build on it for other projects. One thing I forgot to say is this project processes has to be carried out by a project manager, which is the head of the project. Now going to the roles and characteristics of a project manager. One is leadership skills. He has to be a leader that knows his onions, how to manage the people and resources under him in order to achieve the project. Then technical skills. He has to be a listener to his workers. Strong team building skills, because he has to be a coordinator of people, and people are difficult to work with, so he has to have that strong team building skills rather. Then problem solving skills, because there's no problem to not emanate while carrying out the project, so he has to be someone who knows how to solve problems when they emanate in order to achieve the goal of the project.
Moving on, I would like to explain why projects fail. My first point is lack of executive support. When we don't have the support of the management and the board of directors in the whole, we tend to fail. And my second point is lack of stakeholder involvement. When the stakeholders and the shareholders of the company are not involved in the activities of the company, projects tend to have ups and downs and fail at some point. Then my third point is unclear requirements. When the requirements of the clients are not that clear to the people executing the projects, there's lack of clarity in the way, and we tend to like fail in the process of executing such projects. My fourth point is technology problems. When we have problems with our machines and the equipment that will be used for executing projects, like our computers, our machines, the machines we use in companies, we tend to have hiccups that hinder the execution of the projects. Then we have the fifth point, which is excessive customization. When we are given a project by a client, we tend to like put in too much that is not expected for it to be put in the project. We tend to overdo, and the project tends to like fail at the end of the day. The sixth point is unclear roles and responsibilities. When every staff of the organization, when they are not focused on their respective roles, things tend to go sideways, and the project tends to like have problems on the way. My seventh point is unrealistic time frame. When the time frame to execute a project is too strict, or the client is pressuring the staff of the organization, we tend to like rush the projects, and this tends to like affect these projects. Then our eighth point is lack of communication. When there's a breach in communication between the stakeholders, the board of directors, the clients, and the staff executing such projects, there's tends to be like problems along the way. The final point is poor change management. Moving on to success factors for projects. There are several factors that we need to consider if we want to make a project a success. First one is the executive support. We've also stated this in the why project fail, one of the points in why project fail. If we need projects to like succeed, we actually need executive support of our shareholders, support of the management, support of staff, and everybody that's in charge of pushing that project forward. Second one is clarity at the very start of the project. When there's no clarity, like from the clients, from the management, on how the project is to run, when the project manager is not willing to put effort into the project, there's actually nothing his subordinates can do. The head of the project has to be willing and able to put in work. The last point is end user training. When we are done with the project, we are meant to teach our clients that give us the project how, probably if we are given a software to produce, we are meant to, after producing such software, we're meant to give the user guidelines, like a manual to follow, like after service to our clients. That's one of the ways to make a project a success. Thank you.
From what she has said, vision, principle, and policies. Vision, as we all know, is the futuristic goal of an organization, while the principle and the policies are the culture, they are the ethics of an organization. Vision, principle, and policies in project management can also be referred to as the policies, the procedures that help a business organization and work ethics. This is actually the cultures and their laid down rules and regulations which help them in the project management. The policies are also enforced to legal procedures such as copyright infringement, harassment. This would help in a way to like curb fraudulent acts that won't distract the information technology of the organization. Now, some of the vision of the information technology include innovation, customer decisions, and good customer service, value, and efficiency. Now, the principle actually aligns with strategies for the project management. Moving on, project portfolio management. This is a continuous process of selecting which project to select and still managing the rest. Portfolio project management, this is, or in a way, by selecting a particular project which the organization will focus on and still be able to continue with the other managing and organizing of the other task. Now, the goals of portfolio project management. So, the goals of project portfolio management, it is to maximize the value of the portfolio. In this way, it is cost effective in a way so as not to be able to spend too much and still be able to give out effective output to the customers.
I'm talking about disaster recovery and business continuity. Disaster recovery refers to all procedures, documentations, and resources the organization puts in place to prepare for disaster and recover the technical infrastructure. The list of possible disaster is long, from hurricane to snowstorm to pandemics and the rest, and this affects the business information storage. Recovery from disaster is not just about managing a system and bringing it back online. it is also to ensure the business continuity. Thus, the organization must develop plans for maintaining its business operation and avoid a devastating revenue loss and damaged reputation. Disaster recovery and business continuity start with business analysis impact. This is used to identify the most critical and time-sensitive information. It is used to state who reports the disaster and what is to be done as a result of the disaster. So now I'll be talking about cognitive biases that can affect strategic planning. Cognitive bias is a common human tendency to make systematic mistake with processing info or making judgment. These biases are confirmation bias, tendency to choose info to review that supports our existing position and ignore conflicting evidence. The second one is overconfidence. The third one is planning fallacy. The fourth one is anchoring. The fifth one is availability bias. And the sixth one is hindsight, which is the belief that an event was predictable even if it wasn't. I hope this presentation has been able to educate you about project management and strategic planning. Thank you.